If you want to win your fantasy football leagues, this is how. Welcome to the Peanut Punch, and today we're going to be talking about how you can win your fantasy leagues by following these notes. By following these rules, this is how we've done. Is that tough?
No.
One of the notes that we're going to talk about is that you should pass on taking a tight end early. Obviously, having a really good tight end is an advantage that you have against other people. Like, you can take Brock Bowers or Trey McBride in like the first 2-3 rounds. But I think that's taking a reach on taking a tight end super early, because if you can find a like superstar or just a good quality tight end later in the draft, I think that's a lot better than taking a Trey McBride or Brock Bowers early. Back like a couple drafts ago, I would take tight ends early. Like, I remember one year I took Kyle Pitts in the first 3 rounds. I took Darren Waller.
I took Greg Olsen in like round 4.
I remember that. That was bad. That was really bad. And I took Darren Waller in the first 3 rounds because I was listening to the sheep and saying how you should take a tight end early because you get the advantage. But that never worked out. And then the past couple of years, I've been waiting on tight end and taking them later in the draft. Like this past season, in one of my drafts, I took a tight end in like the 10th or 15th, around the 10 or 15 round, and I took Tucker Kraft. And obviously Tucker Kraft got injured, but through the first like weeks that he was healthy, he was a top 2 tight end in fantasy. So you should always try to take a tight end later in drafts, especially rookie tight ends, because Bowers, when he was first drafted, his ADP,
I got him in after round 10.
Yeah, he got him after round 10, and he ended up being the tight end 1 or tight end 2. I forget which one. So I just think you should try to find a really good tight end that has a chance to explode the following year, or a rookie tight end later in drafts, because that's just a lot better than taking a super early tight end. Not
Yep.
tight end.
Our second point, kind of like
Going off
of the first point, kind of similar, is to play safer earlier in the draft and then chase high upside later in the draft. So kind of similar to don't take a tight end early. Just take a safer player who you know is probably going to
get you points.
Like an Amon-Ra St. Brown is always a solid pick in the first round whenever you get him, or just a guy who's going to be consistent, right? You don't want to really take like a Malik Neighbors. Let's say last year people were so high on Malik Neighbors in the first round, then he ends up getting injured, tears ACL, and they were really playing for upside. When rather you want to chase upside in the later rounds, because it's not like it's a less valuable pick. You don't really want to take chances on a guy who you're really not like certain on.
Yeah, that's why like I really like taking players like he just said, Amon-Ra St. Brown. McCaffrey obviously is like a safe pick, but like because of his injury history, it's really like I don't really like that. And then I remember Bijan's rookie year. What did he finish as, Bijan?
I think it was that. Was
top
it that
12?
I don't know.
Did he finish?
I think it was just outside of it.
So he was around the top 12, but people were having him in the middle of the first round.
Yeah.
Like that's basically a running back, a top 4 running back, and that's betting on the upside. Like you should not be doing that in the first round.
Well, it's what happened with Marvin Harrison Jr. as well. People had him in the first round. I was actually got him in good value because in our draft, people are kind of scared of rookies.
Yeah.
And I was able to get him in
the third round.
The third round, yeah. And although that was good value, he was terrible. Like not that he was terrible. He just wasn't worth a third round pick.
Yeah, exactly.
So he definitely wasn't worth a first round pick. So I would stay away from rookies really in the first round if you can. I obviously love Jeremiah Love. However, as a player, he's amazing.
Yeah.
But we're going to talk a little bit more about that. You don't really trust rookie running backs.
Yeah.
And not just that, I think the Cardinals came out and said something like they were going to use 3 or 4 running backs this year. Like, I don't even know. I would stay away from Jeremiah Love.
Exactly.
But yeah, I would just say play safe earlier in the draft, and then take your high risk guys in the later rounds.
One of my favorite notes that I like to follow is always try to take, obviously you want the best quarterback, but I always love taking a top 3, mainly top 3, maybe top 5 quarterback earlier in the draft, because having an elite quarterback is one of the best advantages you can have against your league mates. And you should always also try to take like a good quarterback as a backup quarterback, because last year in one of my drafts I took Jaden Daniels in like the first 4 rounds in the ESPN draft. I took him in the first 4 rounds, And then I took Dak Prescott later in like the 10th round or something like that because you should always have like I just said, quarterbacks are really important for your team. So just in case your quarterback gets injured, you still want another really good quarterback as a backup.
And Jaden Daniels did end up getting injured, and Dak Prescott finished as a top
five,
as
a top five quarterback. So thankfully, I listened to this note, and I took a backup quarterback because if I did not have Dak Prescott, I definitely would have finished at the bottom of the league.
And I would say, similar to my last point, is if you're gonna take a backup quarterback, I would say take a high upside quarterback.
Yeah.
Like in this year's draft, you can get Malik Willis for basically free.
Yeah, exactly.
And why not take a risk on him? Because he was amazing in Green Bay, and he has rushing upside. He's got the athleticism. So
yeah, why not take a shot on him?
Now on to the fourth point is try and find players at a discounted price, like players who are either coming off an injury or players coming off a suspension. We saw this last year with Rashee Rice, and people who were able to really wait the 6 weeks really reaped the benefits, as he was like averaging, I want to say like 19. All right, you didn't draft him though. I drafted him.
Yeah, but I traded for him.
But what was he averaging? Like 19? He was averaging a lot of points per game.
He was like I think he was like a top 5 wide receiver in points per game or something like that.
Yeah, and you always want to take guys who are maybe have been injured and will bounce back. Like I would say maybe stay away from Malik Neighbors because we don't know how good he's going to be.
Yeah.
But like, why not take a guy on? Why not take Mike Evans? I mean, he's been injured so many times. We know he comes back from injuries, and we know he's still a good receiver, and he's obviously gonna be their wide receiver one for sure, in my opinion, at least. And you can get him at a really discounted price. You can probably get him in the round 7 or 8, or probably 6 or 7, maybe.
I don't know his ADP, but I just know that. What do you call it? Like maybe like Tank Dell, for example.
That's
a
scary.
whole year. No, that is kind of scary, but he's a whole year removed, and his knee just got fucked up. You can get him super late.
I would say like Patrick Mahomes.
I guess, yeah, but it's Mahomes, so people are gonna.
Yeah, but I mean, he's obviously coming off an injury. Is he even gonna start week 1? Who knows?
I don't know. But also Judkins too. Judkins is scary, but you could get him later in the draft. Zach Charbonnet too, because Judkins, we don't really know when he's gonna start, but when he does come back, he's the RB1 on that team. Because who do they have? Dylan Sampson.
I like Dylan Sampson.
No, I like Dylan Sampson too, but he's more of like a receiving running back when Judkins is there. On to the next point is pre-draft, always look for playoff/playoff push schedules. Because obviously you want to get to the playoffs, but you always want to look for players that are going to be good, but have really good playoff/playoff push schedules. Because I remember one year I was kind of like, my team was kind of mid, and I needed a push for the playoffs. And I think I made the trade with my dad or somebody. I was looking for David Montgomery. This wasn't, he was still in Chicago. And he was kind of mid during the season, but then I looked at the rest of his schedule. It was like all green. It was all like top 5, top 8 matchups. So I made the trade with my dad, and then he was like, "Oh, I fleeced you, wah wah wah." And I was like, "Okay, sure." And then David Montgomery ended up going off like the last 5 weeks, and that ended up making the playoffs. So I just think looking for people who have good schedules towards the end of the season is really important.
Speaking of David Montgomery, well, not really him in particular, but be wary.
Be wary?
Be wary?
I think that's how you say it.
Be wary. What are you looking at?
I was just looking over there.
Okay. Be careful with teams with really just bad offenses in general, but also bad offensive lines, or maybe receivers who don't have great quarterbacks. And kind of speaking of David Montgomery, I think he's a good player. He'll probably score a lot of touchdowns with the Texans. But the Texans had one of the worst offensive lines this past season. Yeah. They did improve a lot, so we'll have to see where it really takes them.
Yeah.
But just be careful when you're trying to draft a running back. And if you're like stuck between 2 running backs, I don't know why I said it like that. If you're stuck between 2 running backs and you're not sure which one to go with, I would say go with the one who has the better offense or who has the better offensive line. And the same can be said with wide receivers. If you're not sure who to go with, take the guy who has the better quarterback.
Yeah. Like, in my rankings, I have Nico Collins and Justin Jefferson like flip-flopping. And obviously Jefferson is the better receiver than Nico, but I just feel like I trust Nico's situation better than Justin
Well,
Jefferson.
yeah. I mean, it's hard to know too because we don't know how Kyler Murray is going to perform.
But
in
yeah, that's
Minnesota.
why, like, there's questions about Kyler. Jefferson has a lot more competition than Nico Williams with Jawan Jennings and Jordan Addison and TJ Hawkinson. And Nico only really has Higgins, Tank Dell, who knows how he'll be, and who's the other guy? Jalen Noel
Dalton Schultz.
and Dalton Schultz. So obviously, like, the Vikings offense overall is better than the Texans, but I just trust Nico being the obvious 1A. He'll probably get a lot of the targets rather than, and having CJ Stroud, who isn't that great, but at least we know how, like, he's performed with Stroud before. We don't know how Jefferson's going to perform with Kyler Murray, and he has a lot more competition. And going back to what we said before, Jefferson has a round 2 ADP. Like, obviously, I like Jefferson this year, but I think he should be safe.
Speaking of Jefferson, I think he has crazy hype right now. I see people ranking him as a top 3 receiver in fantasy.
Really?
I'm not even joking. I don't get it.
That's crazy.
I see people on TikTok, and I'm like, are you like, is this a joke?
I have him as my wide
actually
receiver.
don't understand.
I have him as.
I think Justin Jefferson is the best receiver in the league.
No, I still think he is. He just got fucked over by bad quarterback.
But I wouldn't take him in the first round. I don't think.
No, I wouldn't take him in the first. I would maybe take him in the second.
Like, if I'm like, what's that? Like, if I have the 11th pick, right? Then maybe sure I'd take him, and then like if I really want him.
Yeah.
But I don't understand how people have him as a top 4 fantasy receiver. It doesn't make sense.
No, that's way too high, especially after what happened with his situation last year. That pissed me off. I had him. Let me tell you, not a good time.
Yeah.
You should always try to take elite kickers and elite defenses because
This guy loves his kickers and defense.
I do. But guess what? It wins me games. And
If your league plays with
if your league plays with them, because somebody last year was so mad that my kicker and defense was so good he wanted to get rid of it because
because it was your best players.
no,
you were
no. I had Josh Allen and Achane. That's why it's a note. Elite kickers and elite defenses because I had Brandon Aubrey and Seattle's defense. They would get me at least like 15 points. They got me at least 10 to 15 points a game. So obviously, if your special teams is a lot better than the other people, then you're gonna be good. And also remember, back in my day, like 5 years ago when I won a championship. It hasn't been 5 years since I won a championship. I don't want to say that.
I won one last year.
One of the championships that I won 5 years ago, I had Nick Folk and the New England defense, and both of them finished top 2 in their position. And I ended up winning the championship that year. So obviously having elite special teams is really important for your team.
What I'll say is drafting a defense is, in my opinion, less important than drafting a kicker.
No, yeah.
I would say if you're going to prioritize one of them, I would draft a kicker first because defenses, it really matters on matchup. If you're playing a great offense, your defense is probably going to be cooked either way.
Yeah.
So I would say, well, first of all, if you're going to draft a defense, look at the schedule first and make sure it's a good schedule.
Yeah.
But I would draft a kicker first, and if you're gonna draft a kicker, take Brandon Aubrey or like Cam Little or something, someone who can get you the long range points, really.
And I remember last year one of the matchups. It was when Seattle played against Minnesota, and I think who was it? Max Brosmer started for Minnesota. Yeah. And my team was just playing like Dookie. Like, it really wasn't playing that. Besides Josh Allen and Achane, I don't remember how Achane did, but I know Josh Allen was kind of mid and Justin Jefferson was kind of mid. But I remember I needed to win to get into the playoffs, and Seattle's defense got me 28 points with our scoring. So, because I think they had
2 touchdowns.
Yeah, 2 touchdowns. I think they let up 0 points.
Yeah.
So they were just really important for me last year.
And our last point is to have a draft strategy, but don't be too hard on that strategy because the draft at the end of the day is pretty unpredictable.
Yeah.
So I would say if you have a plan going into the draft, like let's say,
like hero running back, or
I was gonna say you want to draft a running back first, or what did you say?
Like hero running back.
Or zero running back,
zero
or hero.
Okay.
Whichever one. Which I don't really like any of those strategies, to be honest.
I just say going by BPA.
I would say
that's what I do.
Yeah, BPA or just go like on average, like, you know what I mean?
I guess. Yeah.
Like, I would say if you take a running back first, probably take a receiver second because you don't want to be left with terrible receivers.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say have a strategy, but let's say for example, in the draft 2 years ago, I didn't expect Marvin Harrison Jr. to be there in the third round, so I took Marvin Harrison Jr. Was it a mistake? Yeah. But at the time, it was such a good value pick that
You
I
had
couldn't
to.
pass up on it.
Yeah.
So I would say, sure, have that strategy in the back of your head, but
Yeah.
don't be too hard
Yeah.
on it. And, you know, if a player comes who you really like, take that guy. If he's your
Yeah.
guy, then
Take him.
take him. Why not?
No, because I remember one year in every mock draft I was doing, I think I had like the 7th pick.
In every mock draft I remember 2 years ago, I kept taking DeAndre Swift when he was on the Eagles.
Yeah.
I ended up taking him, but then I ended up not playing him.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then he ended up going. I don't know why I said that. Actually, go ahead.
Yeah, why did you?
Cut
That
shit
made
out.
that made no sense. Okay, no, I'm gonna keep that.
No.
No, I want people to know you're a dumbass. But I remember one of my mock drafts like years ago. Not one, in multiple mock drafts. I had like the 6th or 7th pick in a 10-person league, and every mock draft I always took Nick Chubb. I think there was maybe one where I didn't take Nick Chubb, but out of like 50 that I did, I always took Nick Chubb. And then came draft day, and obviously I had in my head I was gonna take Nick Chubb, but Nick Chubb ended up he didn't get taken yet, but Devontae Adams ended up falling to me. And at that point, Adams was always gone. But because I wanted to stick to my strategy, I still took Nick Chubb.
And Nick Chubb ended up not being that good.
I don't remember. I
think that
know.
was the year he got hurt, actually.
I don't remember. But then I remember I passed up on Devontae, and guess what? I'm pretty sure Devontae finished as a top 2, top 3 wide receiver that year. And that was the year I took Jonathan Taylor second in the 2nd round, and that's when he had his crazy year. So if I had, I still ended up winning the championship
Or like
that
when
year.
you took Robert Woods over Cooper Kupp.
Don't remind me.
When Cooper Kupp was the greatest receiver of all time.
Let me tell you, at that point we were doing like the sticker on the board, and I
Yeah.
had Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp in each hand, and I didn't
I
know.
remember you telling me.
I didn't know who to take. And I ended up taking Robert Woods because I was taking him in my mock drafts. And guess what? Cooper Kupp ended up having his 1,900-yard season. So I could have had Jonathan Taylor, Cooper Kupp, and Devontae Adams. I still ended up winning the championship that year
Because of Jonathan Taylor.
because of Jonathan Taylor. But can you imagine, like, the year I would have had if I had all 3 of them? I would have been unstoppable.
And you had Amon-Ra.
And I had Amon-Ra St. Brown that year too. So
Yeah. So listen to us.
you got to listen to us if you want to win.
Punch yourself?
You want to listen to us if you want to win your fantasy league. So thank you for watching this video, and hopefully you guys take these notes in and you win a lot of championships. We'll see you in our next video.